Everybody, welcome back to Watch and Carry. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing another favorite strap, favorite bracelet feature. I did part one of this maybe a couple of months ago where I went over a few of the watches in my collection and how I've kind of changed up the look with some aftermarket straps. I've gotten a few new straps since then, most of these used off of eBay, and posted them on Instagram. Had a few questions about these in particular, and so I thought I'd go ahead and share them with you in case it might be something you want to do for your watch as well. So I'm going to try to go over measurements, materials, just things to be aware of when you buy the strap, and then of course how it feels on the wrist, and give you guys a wrist shot for each one. The links for each of these straps are going to be provided down below, especially for those listings that are on Amazon. Just note that the prices and availability can change quite a lot within a few days. So if it seems a little bit pricey when you check, feel free to check back in at a later date when it might be cheaper. All right, so let's go ahead and start with a wrist check today. I've got this I've got this Timex Falcon Eye reissue. This is a reissue off of an old design from Timex. Metal case, quartz movement, really beautiful blue dial with this almost wavy-like appearance on the face that changes with light and angle. And you have this beautiful domed acrylic glass that Timex is known for on some of their vintage-looking pieces. Beautiful raised indices over here. So I don't know if you can pick that up, just how raised those indices are off the face. It's a really nice piece, and I've paired it to a strap that I will be going over later. 18 millimeter lugs over here. I've had to cut this strap down from 20 millimeters to make it fit. This is a Timex MK1, and I've put a butterfly clasp by Rocher on this one as well. So just a really fun piece to be wearing. All right, so let's go left to right over here and show you the new straps I've purchased since the last strap video. So starting with this first, this is a Pasoy or Skagen resin strap in olive green. This strap is sold off of many different brands that try to knock off the Casio World Time design. So again, Pasoy, Skagen, a lot of these different companies have different names, but they've really tried to create products that mimic the design cues of the Timex World Time, of the Casio World Time. It's a very, very popular line from Casio, also a very popular watch in the modding community. So these companies have kind of capitalized that and made their own designs that are a little bit different. The benefit of that to you is that they oftentimes have different colors, different styles, and different materials that you can't find on Casio, but because they were designed to mimic the world time, they will fit perfectly to your AE 1200 or AE 1300. So this is a resin strap, olive green finish. You have to buy the entire watch in the link below to get the strap, but the watch can go for as low as $10 or $11, so not too expensive. So with each of these straps, I'm going to start off with the size first, and then we'll give you a feature of how it looks going down, and then do a wrist shot. So looking at the shorter portion of the strap, not including the buckle, you're looking at a length of just about 8.2 millimeters all the way till the part that inserts into the lugs. On the longer part of the strap, you're looking just shy of 13 millimeters, so about 12.8 millimeters. This has 18 millimeters over here, so this will work with most 18 millimeter lug widths. You can see that it flares out immediately after that 18 millimeters to about 23 millimeters over here. So about 23 millimeters here at the flare out portion, and then it tapers all the way down to, see if I can change my angle here so you can see it. Tapers all the way down to just about 18 millimeters here towards the end of the strap. Now, when you buy the strap, it is not going to have this Casio printed buckle. It's going to have a plain black resin buckle. But what you can do is, again, because these parts are interchangeable with the Casio World Time, you can get your Casio World Time watch, go to the strap, and take off that buckle and replace it with the take off that buckle and put it onto your Pasoy or Skagen Again, this is a resin bracelet. This is how it looks from this end. Single keeper, almost like a matte, semi-deep green olive finish. You've got one mountain, two valleys on the short portion of the strap. Same thing here, one mountain, two valleys. You've got this small indented cutout here for your holes where the tongue will go, and then a beveled edge towards the end of that part. Small raised resin markings here along both sides of the strap, and same for this side as well. So I'll give you guys a wrist shot over here. My wrist is 6 3/4 inches. But just a really nice color that I think goes well in this case with this colored case. This strap is also available in black. Sometimes on other listings, not below, you can find them in blue, white, orange. But as long as the watch they're sold with looks like this Casio World Time, it probably will fit. This watch, by the way, is a Casio World Time AE 1300-8AV. For the case, the module and the masking, which has those 3 yellow subdials, is the Casio AE 1300-1AV. It's a custom-made watch that I've done, but I think the gray matte finish on the case just goes really well with the strap. Strap is resin, so it does feel a little bit cheap. Don't expect anything premium here, but I've used this watch a lot of my outdoor activities, electric skateboarding. I've fallen in both of those activities quite a bit and, hit this strap on the floor, on the ground when I fell, and it just has really held up well, holds up well, when I go swimming. So don't expect a lot in terms of feel, but durability seems to be really good. It holds its finish very well. I don't have any paint here that's chipping off on the strap. And the comfort is, in between. It definitely does not feel like a glove. Sometimes you have those straps, especially silicone, that just feels really, really nice when you put them on, and it feels like it forms to your wrist. So don't expect it to feel like that. Expect more of a kind of rubbery, like hard rubber, kind of hard plasticky type of feel, but comfortable, I think, enough for hours of use. So does the job, again, for something that's 10 or 11 bucks, not too bad. All right, so that's that strap over there. Let's move on to the next one. This is probably my favorite strap I've bought in the last, since the last video. Let's see if I can get this all in camera here. So this is a Uncle Seiko GL831 rubber strap in OD green. The strap comes in 2 different lengths. You have a long version on the website and a short version. I don't know what the short version's dimensions are or length, but you can check on the link below for that. You have 22 millimeters at the lugs. It flares out just a little bit after the lugs and then tapers down to 20 millimeters over here towards the terminal end. The length of this strap, we'll start with the shorter portion, not including the buckle, is about 7.8 millimeters long. Okay, if we include the buckle, you're just over about 9.1 millimeters in length. If you go to the shorter portion, tip to tip, you are looking at about 12.7, 12.8 millimeters in length. As I mentioned, 22 millimeters over here at the lugs. Flaring out portion is measured at about 24 millimeters wide. Okay, so nice tapered look to the watch. Let's kind of show you what it looks like. Brushed, or actually I think this is bead blasted. Steel buckle and tongue. You're going to get one relatively wide keeper with this. You can see there's a perforated design on both the keeper and the strap itself. we're flaring up now, and you can see here that it's a little asymmetrical compared to the long portion. So on the left, you're going to have 2 mountains, 3 valleys. On the right side, the longer piece of the strap, you're going to have 1 mountain and 2 valleys. So it's a little asymmetrical. Okay. Relatively thick, by the way, over here at the lugs. So the reason I mention that, let me actually take this apart because it's important to know that. See, it's pretty thick over here where the spring bar is. I'd say just about 4 millimeters thick, so quite thick. On this particular watch, it works very well because I don't have a hood on this watch. It's just a standard lug. But if you have a watch that has a hood, meaning that there is a covering that goes over the lugs, it might narrow the space that you have to put in a strap. And if the end of it, like this one, is too thick, the strap may not fit. So just take note of what your lugs look like. Probably best to use a non-hooded lug design. Here's the other portion. We have our cutouts for the holes. You will have your Uncle Seiko embossing there in the rubber. If we flip this over, it's more of a texturized look. You have the model number and the brand over there. Model number again over here. And you can see the difference between the finish on the other side of the strap and the underside. Here's what the other side of that strap looks like compared to the texture on the other side, on the underside. And then we go into the buckle, and the buckle is labeled, which is really nice. Okay, let's go ahead and throw this on the wrist. Again, this is the long version of the strap. So on my 3/4 inch wrist, this is where the excess strap kind of goes to on my wrist. So I think it's just about the right size. The buckle, by the way, you have an option for $6 to add a PVD coated black version. So if you want to match it to a different colored face or case, you have that option. This watch, by the way, is an Orient Defender 2 in cream. So I think the strap just goes really, really well. The cream finish on this Orient is almost like a khaki. And obviously with a name like Defender 2 and the design, it has a very militaristic look. So khaki military look, I think, just goes really well with the, the OD finish on this. So if you compare that to, let's say, the next strap that I'm going to go over, this olive green on the right on the Marathon strap is quite a bit darker. It's a very beautiful finish, but I think less military looking than the Uncle Seiko on the left. So if you have a watch that has like militaristic cues like mine, might be a better idea to get this type of strap. Some other notes: the strap is very, very comfortable to wear. I mean, loads better than that cheap Pasoy that I went over. Really molds to your wrist very, very well. Comfortable to wear on warm days, cold days, good in moisture environments. So if you have high humidity or if you're out in the rain, as long as your watch can take it, the strap is very, very comfortable, quick to dry, and no problems so far. So there you go. Uncle Seiko GL831 in rubber. Oh, one thing I wanted to note here, the spring bars that come with the Uncle Seiko watch are not the ones that I have on this watch right now. The spring bars that come with this strap are relatively thick at the ends, meaning that they go into holes in lugs that are much wider than on my Orient. The strap, as the name tells you, is really made for a Seiko watch. So if you are not putting this on a Seiko watch, the spring bars may not go into the holes. If they do fit, you really need to give the strap a tug after you install it to really make sure they're in there. Because they may have just kind of sat on the top of the hole for the lug, but they're not truly in. And of course, that could be a disaster for your watch to fall off your wrist when you don't expect it. Not a big deal if the spring bars are too fat for your drills, for your drilled out lugs or the holes in your lugs. You can take off the spring bar that comes with this strap. Go to Amazon, buy a spring bar kit. They oftentimes come in different sizes. Very, very cheap. Nothing more than like $5 or $6. Throw on a 22 millimeter standard spring bar into this strap, which will definitely fit, and you can put it on your other watch like this Orient. The spring bar that comes with this Uncle Seiko, the fat one, is quite difficult to remove, by the way. So if you take off the strap, you're trying to push with your lug tool to get that spring bar off and it won't remove. Just be patient, be careful that you don't aim your spring bar tool towards your finger. I've seen a lot of people have difficulties removing that spring bar and they stab themselves with their tool, so just be very careful, but it is possible to remove it. Okay, let's go on to the marathon strap that I just showed you. Okay, this is a marathon rubber strap in OD green, 20 millimeters at the lugs. And you can see in this case that the strap doesn't really taper. It maintains that 20 millimeters pretty much for the rest of the strap. 20 millimeters here, and at the terminal end, we're looking at about 19 or 18 millimeters over here towards the terminal end. So not a very tapered look. The reason I mention that is if you have a very small watch face, it's usually, at least in my opinion, better to have a tapered strap, because if you have a really fat strap on a really small case, the strap kind of takes away the look from the case. So in this case, the watch is not too small, not too big. I think it kind of works well with this. Let's go ahead and get some dimensions out of the way. So on the, let's start with the shorter portion, excluding the buckle. You're looking at about 79 millimeters, or 7.9 millimeters. The longer, and then with the buckle, sorry, you're looking at about 90 millimeters with the buckle. The longer end of the strap, we're looking at about 12.3 millimeters in length. I do want to say that compared to the other straps, this is quite a thick strap. You can already see that. I mean, if you compare the Uncle Seiko, and especially if you compare the Pasoy, this is a very thick strap. So all the way at the end, you're looking at about 3 millimeters thick. And at the lug end, you're even looking at thicker. It's about 5 millimeters thick over here. So the reason I mention that again is for your lug design. If you have hooded lugs, like for example, this is a hooded lug. See how the top is covered? This strap is nearly impossible to put on a hooded style of lug. Unless the hood is quite large. So you're really going to want to go for a standard design, open lug, fork design like this if you're going to choose this strap. The benefit of having this really thick strap is that it's just very, very comfortable to wear. So before I go into my comments on how it is to wear, let's go with the looks. So we have a labeled buckle here in stainless steel brushed finish, brushed stainless steel tongue. 2 keepers. One of the keepers has the logo for Marathon there. You can see here that we have a nice contoured shape in the strap. So it's wider over here and bevels down to thinner as you go towards the center of the strap. It's a little bit easier if I bend the strap for you to see that line. Okay, so you can kind of see the beveled look of that strap. The bevel contoured lines flare out if you follow that all the way towards the lug, so that's really nice because your eyes follow that line into the outside case and the curvature of your watch. So really nice. Small curvature as well where the lugs are. If you go to the other end, we have that same contoured shape. You have the holes for the keeper. This is more of a pointed tip towards the end. The other side is pretty much the same finish that you find on the front. Nothing labeled here. No quick release, by the way. Standard spring bars, so you're going to need probably a spring bar tool or a very small flathead screwdriver to remove that. And then we go into our buckle again with stainless steel marked on that side. Okay, let's give you guys a wrist shot. So again, very thick rubber, but the benefit of that is just even as you're putting it on, the watch is just the strap is just very, very comfortable to wear for long periods of time. Hours on end, I don't feel like I'm getting too hot, too sweaty. I don't feel too many pinch points on this strap. Just very, very comfortable. There's the contoured lines. Much better when I put it on the wrist. And this is paired to a Casio EDV100D in white. So I think it just goes really, really well. It's a very simple face, very simple design on the watch. Not a lot of clutter, so I wanted the strap to do the same. Just wanted it nice and simple and clean, which is why I went with this strap. And a different shade of olive green. This is a very dark shade of olive green, so just know that if you're looking for that lighter shade, that more military shade, you probably don't want this strap. Only available in 20 millimeters, unfortunately, although I do think it comes in black, so no other sizes for this. And as far as I know, one length only. There's no short version like you find on the Uncle Seiko. All right, so that'll do for that strap. Let's go ahead and move into another one. We're here. Now this one's going to be a little bit trickier because this strap is not sold separately. You have to buy the full watch to get this strap. So the story behind this is there is a watch that you can find on Timex's website or Amazon called Timex MK1. It comes in many different colors, and certain colors have different straps. I believe the gray version of the Timex MK1 is the watch that has this particular strap. So there's the MK1 marking. This is a 100% leather strap in, again, olive green. And you can just see here that it's a tapered look, an aggressive taper at that. So 20 millimeters here at the lugs. Usually you drop by 2 millimeters as you go towards the end. So 20 here, you would expect 18. We actually go from 20 all the way down to 16 millimeters. So if you're going to change out the buckle, you're going to need to get a 16 millimeter wide buckle. And again, the link below, you have to buy the full watch in order to get the strap. In my case, some guy was selling his broken Timex MK1 on eBay, and this is the strap that came with it, so I had no use for the watch. It was broken anyways, but I really was just buying it for the strap. Watch is about 35, 40 bucks, so that might be a little pricey just for a strap, but I think what I really like about this is just the way it looks. So let's start first with how it goes from tip to tip. So we have 60 millimeters over there with this really beautiful contrast green stitching that you can see over here. Nice grain appearance in the leather. You have a single keeper as we're flaring up towards the lugs. Again, contrast stitching over there. Timex MK1 logoing on this side, on the longer part of the strap. We have numbered holes for the tongue. So it really gives it a militaristic look. That MK1, just the font they choose and the fact that you have numbered holes here, gives it a very military vibe. And again, contrast stitching on this side. If we flip it over, a couple things I want to note. The side of the watch has this applied paint that's in green. It's almost like the color of green of the Marathon watch. So you have an olive drab green color over here, really different type of green, almost like deeper olive green on the side, and then we go to black on the underside. Timex logoing. Here's our stitching again. This one comes with quick release spring bars. So quick release just means you pull, and you can easily put on and off the strap. No need for a tool. Contrast stitching again, genuine leather marking over there. Stitching over here on the keeper, and stitching over there again on the strap. Something to note over here is, unlike the Marathon, this strap is very, very, very thin. So let's get a measurement here. I'd say about 1 millimeter thick. I would say even maybe less than 1 millimeter thick if my ruler could mention that thick. So here's just a big difference, right? MK1 strap on the left, Marathon on the right. It's almost a double on the Marathon. So the benefit of this is just weight, so you have less weight to the strap, and also hooded lugs. So if you, not on this watch, but if you have a watch with a very narrow space to accommodate your strap at the lugs, this would be a perfect strap for you. Perfect for maybe a dress watch. If you have a watch that's thin, a very thin shaped case, and you want to maintain that thinness, you would probably want to choose a strap like this that's very, very thin. Okay, let me kind of show you what it looks like on the wrist. So here's the benefit of having those numbers. You can kind of easily go to the number that you remember your wrist size to be. The strap comes with a buckle, by the way, so I do want to tell you that this is the buckle it comes with that Timex MK1 strap. So 16 millimeters. It's almost like a gunmetal logoed matte finish. I've put a Recher butterfly clasp in brushed silver on mine. And this is being paired with a Timex Navi XL automatic in the green finish. So I think this shade of olive green, especially this contrast green stitching here, and the slight green accents that you have over here just goes so well with this case. What I really like in particular and why I chose this strap is I wanted an olive drab theme because the watch has a very militaristic look, but these indices that you see on the top are almost like a yellowish white. It's not pure white, it's almost like yellowish white. So, or gold. So I really needed a strap to pick up those yellow tones on the face, and I think this shade of olive green does that really well. You can see there's kind of a golden hue on some parts on the leather, and that really just picks up that yellowish white on the applied face, on the face of the Timex really, really well. So fantastic strap. Again, it's not an ugly watch, the MK1, so, you know, if 40 bucks seems like a lot, just think about the fact that you're getting a watch, and you're a pretty good watch, and you're getting a really great strap that you can combine with other pieces you may have in your collection. Very, very comfortable to wear. All right, and the last one for today is actually going to be a bracelet. So this is a Skagen mesh bracelet, stainless steel. And this is actually in gray. It may look black on camera. I'm going to try to turn up the color so you can kind of get the true shade. There we go. It's more of a charcoal or dark gray. And I chose this strap because I found a lot of black mesh straps, a lot of silver mesh straps for sale, but I have not found any other colors besides that. And I wanted a strap that was kind of in between. Stainless steel and black are good looking colors, but I think they are very bold colors. They're very bright. So I wanted something that was a little bit more dull and subdued. So this one I think fits the bill. So Skagen, 22 millimeters at the lugs. And as you can see here, it is a tapered strap. So you get a little bit wider here at 22 millimeters, and you taper down to 20 millimeters here. So really nice looking. Okay, let's get some measurements out of the way. Okay, so at the strap, not including the buckle, you are looking at 7.2 millimeters in length. With the buckle, you're looking at about 8.5, 8.6 millimeters in length. Longer portion, you're looking at about 10.8 millimeters in length. Give you a look at some of the design cues on this one. So here we have a brushed buckle, color matching the dark gray on the bracelet. Mesh bracelet, very smooth along, let's get some better light here. Very smooth on the sides. Some mesh bracelets, you can really feel they're gritty and not well made, so it's a very smooth finish as I'm running my fingers through here on the side, so less likely to catch hairs. Okay, and very fine mesh. So some mesh bracelets you can kind of see through. They're a little bit transparent. If you take this really bright red toothpick and I stick it underneath bright light, you can see here that you can't really see the toothpick. Okay, maybe towards the end you can kind of see it, but not through. So it's a really fine mesh that covers well. And so what's good about that, and I can't really comment too much because my wrists aren't hairy at all, but for those of you that have hairy wrists, the finer the mesh, From what I've been told from friends that have to worry about that, the less likely for hair to get through. If you have a mesh that has more pores in it or wider pores, it's a lot easier for hair to get in. So I'm not saying that this will not pull on hair, but probably less likely to do than a cheaper mesh bracelet. So very, very comfortable. Very easy to adjust. Again, same brushed dark gray finish here. You lift up here, take a flat tool, lift up on this part, slide your strap, or the clasp where it needs to go, close this down. Okay, and then when it comes to putting on the buckle, you have two attachment points. So that's good for added security, less likely to drop the watch. So you hook these two teeth onto that bar, close the buckle like that, and a secondary security like that. You can see this one is logo free, so no logos on the buckle on this side. Flipping it over, we have some information here, numbers, quick release, very easy to put on and off, very, very thin. So you can see here on this strap, which is hooded, there's that hood, not a lot of room for a strap to fit into the holes for the lugs. So in this case, a very thin strap works well. And there's the other side of the clasp. Let's give you guys a wrist shot here. Nope, I kind of made this too small for my wrist now. Let's widen this up a bit. There we go. Very easy to do one-handed. And this is a Braun watch, by the way, quartz movement. I'll show you the model number in a bit. So it's a very simple design. Granted, these are 22mm lugs here, which I would not expect on a watch this small. So I really wanted a thin strap to complement the minimalist look of this watch. I didn't want to go with black, though, because I thought black on black would be too much. Silver on silver would be too bright, so I think this dark gray just goes really, really well. It reflects just enough light to get attention, but not too much that it's overwhelming in terms of the reflection. So it just goes really, really well. And let's get that model number for that Braun watch for you. Okay, the last thing I wanted to show you guys is a mod that I did actually 2 videos ago. I did a Casio World Time mod. And I threw the Uncle Seiko strap on it just for fun, the strap I showed you earlier, and it was such a great combination that I thought I wanted to share it with you over here. The modding community for these Casio watches, these Casio World Times, is getting more and more popular, and changing straps is one of the things that the modding community does. So if this is your style, this might be something you might want to do. So starting off with the Casio watch, we have a Casio AE 1200-5 AVCF, I believe. Check the link below. This is the Casio World Time that has the gold finish, although I think it's more of a brass bronze finish. From the factory, the Casio comes with a different module and masking. It has that analog clock in the corner, the alarm, the map, and the main time. In this case, I've taken a AE 1300-8 AV masking and module, converted it to a negative display, and then fit that inside this bronze looking case. I've then added these JaysAndKays 22mm to 18mm lug with lug adapters in metal, which are great. You can see here that line here on the case flows really well with the adapter, so not a very bulky adapter. And then I combined it with the Uncle Seiko strap, and the olive green finish on this Uncle Seiko I think just goes so well with this bronze finish on the Casio World Time. Now the Casio World Time that I'm holding is a little bit smaller of a case than my Defender watch, so it makes the extra strap a little bit too long. So if you're going to do this mod for your world time, I would recommend you get the shorter version of this Uncle Seiko strap, not the longer version that you see here. So let me kind of show you what this looks like. A zoomed out view. Just goes so well, especially that negative blackout display, very military themed. I am going to change the buckle here. From Uncle Seiko, you can go ahead and order their black bead blasted buckle, which I think will complement the black tones on the watch better. So here's a plastic one. I'll just put this here just for looks for now, so you can kind of get the idea of what my idea was for this mod. And this OD green just goes so well. The curvature and the lines of the case for this world time, I think, go really well. So you have this curvature here that's really maintained by that adapter and by the strap. The flared out portion of this Uncle Seiko strap just goes so well with the adapter. Just really clean lines and a very nice military theme. Some people really like the coyote tan, desert tan, olive drab theme for their kits. So for those of you that have, EDC pens, wallets, multi-tools that have those colors, here's one option for you to make your own mod that might complement that theme. And not for very much money. The Casio watches are pretty cheap. Let me put this on the wrist for you. So you can see here, again, 6 3/4 inch wrist, that unlike the Defender where I didn't have too much extra strap, over here I have a lot. And this keeper can't really move any far more to the right because it gets too wide. So if you have a similar size wrist as mine or shorter, get the shorter version of this strap. But for now, this is what it looks like. Definitely my favorite Casio mod I've made in a long time. And it's been getting lots of wrist time this week. I think I've worn this every single day. So, and then what's really cool here too is just that negative display gives the indices and the numerals kind of a like goldish yellow tone. And that goldish yellow tone just really matches the goldish bronze finish that you have on the case. So I just think really, really nice. So, all right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Again, just some strap ideas. I know some people out there are purists. They really think it's sacrilegious, so they don't like the chain straps on their watches. To each their own. I completely respect and understand that. That being said, some of us have watches that we're getting bored of. Maybe they haven't been used in a while. Maybe your wrist size has changed, or you just want to give your watch a brand new look. So rather than buy a completely different watch, think about getting straps. They can really change the look and your feelings about the watch, and maybe breathe some new life into some old pieces. So any comments or questions, please put them down below. Prices, I did not state too much in this video because they changed quite a bit, so just check the listings. For the Uncle Seiko, make sure you search on Google for Uncle Seiko discounts, because occasionally they will pop up even though they are not mentioned on the Uncle Seiko website. But other than that, try them out. This one are both readily, and the Skagen are readily available on Amazon. The great thing about Amazon for most of us is that it can be returned if it's brand new. Get the strap, try it on. If it's not for you, if it doesn't match, doesn't fit your wrist, put it back in the mail and return it. So no harm, no foul. But yeah, thanks for sticking with it, guys. Hope this is something that you enjoy, of me kind of going through my method with matching watches and straps. And as always, have fun, and I'll see you guys on the next one.